What up, Kings? Hope you guys are well. So in this video, I want to talk about why I believe about 80% of home service businesses are gonna go bankrupt in the next 6 to 18 months, I would say. And when I say home service businesses, I'm talking about roofing, HVAC, plumbing, electrical work, all these types of trade businesses that have been thriving when the economy was great are gonna collapse. My prediction is 80% are gonna collapse. And here are 3 reasons why I believe this will be the case in the next 6 to 18 months. Number 1, the compensation packages for a lot of these employees, especially the employees that work for these bigger companies, any company that has like over 500 employees, the compensation packages are not reflecting the new economy that we're dealing with. The new economy that we're dealing with is high inflation, high cost of living. You know, an average HVAC tech making almost 6 figures is struggling in a major city like New York City, LA, Boston, even Atlanta. I'd say Atlanta will be considered one of those more affordable cities in the United States, but when you look at the current cost of living, the inflation, because of the war that is going on, because of a whole bunch of things that are going on in the economy, employees that are making near 6 figures are complaining that the amount of money that they're making is not enough to even, sustain them. The reason why people get into work is so they can buy things like houses. So if somebody cannot even buy a house in the city that they work in or the city that they grew up in, what's really the point? Is that really worth it, even accepting a compensation package from one of these bigger like home service businesses? It's really not. And when you look at like a lot of these big home service businesses that are in the marketplace that exist currently, they're quite rigid in the way they operate. Most of the people that are making the big bucks, the big money, are the guys at the top. The middle management, the CEOs, those guys are making a killing. While guys that are delivering the actual work at the bottom, I don't consider those guys at the bottom, to be honest, because those guys are actually the ones that are sustaining the business. Those guys are not making enough money. Even when you look at the auto repair industry, car mechanics are complaining right now that they're not making enough money, even when they work for these dealerships. Ford dealerships are complaining that they can barely recruit car mechanics. And that's just a symptom of what's currently happening in the economy. The compensation packages just don't even make any sense. In this new economy that we're faced with, high inflation, rents are out of control, mortgages, nobody can barely afford a mortgage. People can't even buy a house. People can barely even start a family. Nobody can start a family anymore in this new economy. So a lot of these companies are trying to lure in new employees with things like 401ks, near 6-figure salaries, but it just doesn't make any sense. Like I said, people are seeing right through that. A lot of younger workers, including even like some OGs in the industries, are seeing right through the bullshit. 401ks are a scam. There are a lot of people that have 401ks, but they're struggling. The 401k is meaningless at this point. So I think in order for these existing home service businesses, whether it's in HVAC, plumbing, electrical, roofing, they're going to have to update their compensation packages, or they're going to have to be very creative in how they compensate their top workers so that they can have a business. Because if you don't compensate these people, they're not going to show up to work. That's the second reason why I believe 80% of existing home service businesses are going to go under. The workforce is giving up. The most qualified blue-collar workers, they're either retiring early because they're seeing the writing on the wall. If you've been in the game for at least, say, 15 years, even 10 years, you've seen when the economy was good, how things were when the economy was good. Now you're seeing how things are when the economy is bad. And this is what millions of people are seeing right now. This is what millions of employees, especially the smart ones, are currently seeing in the industry. So they're choosing to just tap out, retire early, and a lot of the smart ones, especially the really competent ones, they're just leaving the country. Some are going to South America, places like Brazil, Colombia, even Mexico. seeking a better quality of life. Because you can go to South America and live a good quality of life for like $1,500 a month. If you're a single man, that is. So picture this. Somebody that has, say, 20 years, 25 years of experience. They've saved up a nice little nest egg, maybe 50,000 to 100,000. They can live in Mexico, in small town in Mexico, for a long time, maybe like 3-4 years, off of their savings. It's very, very possible. How do I know this is possible? Because I'm doing this. I live in a village right now in Africa. By the way, greetings from my village in Africa. This is what we call geo-arbitrage. Millions of men that are working age are tapping out of this U.S. economy because they see the writing on the wall. It just doesn't make any sense. No American employer can convince me right now that I need to come work for them for health benefits. Because I don't give a shit about that. I can get better quality health care here in my village in Africa than in Atlanta, Georgia, where I used to live, or New York City, where I used to live, for a fraction, for almost nothing. I can get a good doctor, access to a good doctor, and I did this. VIP treatment for $45 per visit. He can check all my vitals and everything. So when an American employer says, come work for me, and I'll give you health insurance, I'm looking at that, I'm like, this is so stupid. Why should I slave away for you for a fake health insurance package? No. And a fake 401k? No. Makes no sense. This is why I believe a lot of the existing employers are going to struggle to hire good quality employees. So if you don't have good quality employees, then you don't have a business, do you? And this is what's going to happen to a lot of these bigger companies. And even though a lot of these companies are going to go under, it does not mean the work will not be done. The work will be done, but it's just going to shift. Things are just going to change. The way I predict things are going to work out is that it's already happening. There's going to be an emergence of these one-man home service businesses. So it'll be a one-man HVAC business, a one-man plumbing business, a one-man roofing business that is powered by artificial intelligence on the back end, AI. And I've already done a video about how AI can completely change this industry in terms of the back end work, the admin work. They can just use artificial intelligence to take care of the payroll, take care of the accounting, to take care of the sales. Every single lead that comes in from their marketing efforts are going to be handled by an AI voice, and then the AI agent can book all these jobs for the worker. The United States is a very individualistic society anyway, and most people are getting weird anyway, so a lot of these guys would rather work by themselves. That's what you're going to see. Maybe they'll have a small team, a small crew, and this is what you'll start to see replacing the existing home service businesses that are currently operating. Number 3 reason why I believe a lot of existing businesses are going to go under is too much regulation. There's a lot of red tape. What has happened to a lot of these bigger companies have become so bloated. They become very corrupt and greedy. What they do is they'll start buying off local politicians and putting these stupid laws and regulations in order to squash the little guys, the small competition, the guys that are trying to come up. But I think this is going to backfire on a lot of them. A lot of that work, unfortunately, is going to go underground. So you're going to start to see a bunch of guys that are all qualified, that know how to do the work. They might not be fully licensed, but they'll just operate under the table. I'm not saying all of them are going to do this, but like I said, nobody's going to care that somebody has a license that's up to date if their toilet is overflowing. If the toilet is overflowing and they know Jose, that is 2 blocks down, can fix that toilet, they're going to call Jose to fix that toilet. You know what I'm saying? Even though Jose is still going through the licensing process, or maybe they lost their license and they're still in the middle of renewing it, that homeowner is going to be that desperate enough to hire Jose for whatever Jose is willing to charge them. So I think this is what's going to happen in the marketplace. And guess what? Jose is going to charge a better price than the bigger companies, because the bigger companies are greedy. So let's say, for example, to fix an overflowing toilet will cost $100, $150 from the bigger company. Jose would just come in and say, I'll do it for $80. The market is willing to pay Jose, because Jose's got all the experience and he's charging less. And the market is going to reward Jose over the bigger company. And not to mention, when a lot of these guys are giving up, especially the guys that are highly qualified and moving abroad, it's going to leave the less qualified workforce to be working for these bigger companies. And that means the quality of the work is just going to go down. Nobody wants to deal with those guys anyway. So that's why I truly believe the bigger companies are going to fall apart. 80% are going to fall apart, being replaced by the smaller, more nimble, more savvy, technologically powered, most likely by AI. This means all the marketing, all the operations on the back end are powered by AI. So I hope you guys got some value from this video. If you guys are interested in automating your home service business, so maybe you're on HVAC, plumbing, roofing, and you're looking to go out on your own. Maybe you're currently working for a bigger company right now, and you're starting to see the writing on the wall that the way they're doing business is just not making any sense, and they're trying to turn you into a wage slave. Maybe that's you, and you're ready to start your own business. You can automate up to 95% of your workflow in the back end using artificial intelligence now. This means your marketing, your HR, accounting, so that you're a one-man operation and make all the money and dominate whatever neighborhood that you want to dominate. If this is you, schedule a call, let's talk. And if you're already a business that's operational, you have a small crew, and you're ready to automate 95% of your workflow, then also schedule a call. Let's talk about how to set you up, how to hook you up, and be very competitive. Because if you don't do this, I promise you, your competition is going to do it and take you out of business. All right, I'll put a link in the description of this video. Schedule some time. Talk to you soon.